Hey guys, welcome to the Travis Yarbrough Show. Today, wanted to introduce you to Brayden. He's the man behind the scenes, the guy that is really responsible for making all this happen. How's it going, Brayden?
Good, man. How are you? How you
Doing
doing?
great, bro.
Yeah.
Doing great. Do you mind just telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, man. My name's Brayden. I'm 22, dad of two, married. I run a media production company. If there's anything to do with cameras, my hands are in it. You know, weddings, podcasts, social media stuff, short films. If it's got a camera, my hands are in it. So
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. So how I met Brayden is we were doing a car show. My buddy Sleepo put on at Central Mall. Shout out Sleep and Sleep Nation. Actually, you just walked up to me, man. You
Yeah.
seen the setup and all the cars, and just kind of walked up to me and was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, man, would you be interested in shooting some quick film?" So we threw
Yeah.
numbers back at each other really fast, and it literally happened that fast.
Yep.
That first video you did, just I got so much, so many people reached out about it.
Yeah.
That that's what caused me to want to do this. I felt like, hey, God's given us this platform. Let's use it.
Right.
And then getting to know you, we have the same ethics, the same wants, the same. We agree on a lot of the same things.
Yep.
We're both huge Christians, and everything's just kind of clicked from there, man.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. I still remember that day like it's yesterday. That's about a year now. We've been working for almost a year. But yeah, I encourage anyone, if you have any kind of business, not just video, if you're just running cameras, any kind of business, just go out and engage with people. Go in your community, talk to people. My buddy Pablo says this a lot, because he's a videographer up in Pennsylvania. He said, worst case scenario, you get a free video and we're just friends. Best case scenario, we get to work together long term and we get to be best friends.
Yeah.
So there's really no cons to going and talking to people. I know it's really scary to go out to people you've never met and, just talk to them, kind of figure out what their interests are. But nothing bad can ever come from it. So
Absolutely not. And that's the big thing with sales is and that's what I preach as well is, the work's not going to come to us. We have to go find it.
Right.
All the people sitting on their couch waiting for something to fall in their lap, obviously it's not going to happen.
Right.
We get what we work for, ultimately.
Right.
Well, I want to thank you, for the setup, for all your hard work that you've put into this. I honestly could not do this without you.
Yeah.
It's been awesome getting to know you and your family. Just such real, true people, man. And it was very important to me for people to see the person behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of weird for me to be in front of the camera. It just feels kind of weird. I'm always behind multiple cameras, running all the cameras. So to be in the hot seat for a change, it's different, it's just different. It feels weird, being behind all this.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you too as well, man. And it's really a blessing just to be able to pick who you want to work with. I'm in a position to where I can just take care of a few clients like Travis, and all my clients are essentially family to me. And I try and keep it that way. I don't want to work with people I don't want to work with. You know what I mean? I don't have to, so why would I choose to?
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, I really appreciate you. You're like family to me, and it's a blessing being here and doing this with you.
Same. You want to talk about some of the equipment we run?
We'll be here for a few hours. I can sit here and talk. I can sit here and talk about this all day. I run all Sony only. I've dabbled in some other ecosystems, but everything you see is Sony. FX3, 2870 f2, got an A9 III with the 20mm f1.8, and then over here we have an A7R5 with the 50-150 f2 GM. We've got it all running into this Rodecaster over here. Got two Shure SM7Bs, and then I've got the Blackmagic ATEM Mini ISO. That's what I'm running the HDMI feeds into. And we've got our boy Bo back there running it today, doing the camera switching. But yeah, really simple
Mr.
setup.
Bo Helmert.
Yeah. Yeah, keep it simple, keep it streamlined. Again, all Sony ecosystem, want to keep the same colors, keep everything looking the same, even though I'm using different cameras, different focal lengths. So, simple setup.
Love it. Love it. So I just kind of want to get into, because we're in this together, obviously. You know, we talk a lot, you know, about what we can do, you know, especially with community work and other things like that. And obviously your family, you know, your grandfather, Dennis, was just huge in this community for recovery.
Yeah.
What would you like to see from this show?
Man, honestly, just connection within the community. I think Fort Smith lacks that versus a lot of other towns, you know, like Nashville, New York, Jersey, Miami. I mean, they're big cities, right? But everyone out there is chasing something. They're wanting to do something, even beyond the business side of things. They want to help people, bring people on, you know. So I just really want to do that here because, as you probably experienced, as Bo probably experienced, as many people that are watching this experience, Fort Smith is very, you know, kind of political, kind of, you know, there's always an agenda behind something. It's a lot of old people facilitating things, and I think it would just be amazing to get some of the younger people on and, you know, just engage with the community, show people what they do, their talents, their businesses, their models, you know, their creativity. Just, I think a lot of people want to help people, but they just don't know how. They don't know how to reach different people. And I think this is kind of a catalyst for people to be able to do that, to be able to come on, not have to worry about, you know, how do I shoot video? How do I film myself? What gear do I need? How do I set this up? Audio and lighting and all this stuff. Just to have a space to where people can come in and talk about who they are, what they do, and who they want to help is extremely beneficial. And just cutting out all the technological stuff and things they don't know about. That way they can just focus on what their mission is. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Absolutely. I believe that, you know, we all have a voice, and sometimes, you know, a lot of us don't think our voices are very loud, but they are. And, you know, just with a lot of the stuff that's going on here lately, it's learned, you know, I've always kind of sat back and just kind of watched and listened and just really try to learn and try to understand everybody's aspect. And I can understand, you know, a lot on both sides. I'm always one that is very understanding. I love people. I don't care if you're left, if you're right. I love you. I want for you. I want for everyone. But it's very concerning what we're going through right now in this country.
Yeah.
Anyone listening, you don't have to agree with the other person. I feel like you're strong when you don't agree and you stand for what you believe in, but murder's not the way.
No.
You know?
No, it's not.
It's really not.
It's all by design, though. I mean, people pulling the strings. It's so much bigger than left and right. They want us to be at each other, you know, to distract us from all the other slew of things that are going on. So it's not just left. It's not just right. It's bigger than politics. It's bigger than ideologies. At the end of the day, it just boils down to morality. And it's as simple and as complicated as that. You know, what is morality? Everyone has a different opinion and how they believe things are. But at the end of the day, everyone has a moral compass. You know, God has given us a moral compass on our soul.
Absolutely.
So there's not really much to debate about morality, but people pick and choose what they want to abide by. So
Absolutely.
but again, it's all by design, left and right. I think whatever your opinion is, you should be able to voice it. I don't care how crazy it is, how outlandish. Everyone should be able to have freedom of speech, you know?
Absolutely.
That's what the First Amendment is for.
Absolutely. And I also believe that the person on the other side listening needs to be open ears and try to understand.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to believe, but try to understand the other person and what their beliefs are. This country is made of all of us, and all of us make it, not one. There's so many different beliefs in our country that, you know, just really, makes it difficult, man.
A lot of people don't know what they believe, so they wait for someone to tell them. And I think that's also a big issue. You know, they wait for the media to tell them. They wait for, you know, in these colleges for their professors to tell them what's right and wrong. No one. Most people don't go out of their way to do the research and to figure out what they actually believe and sit with themselves at night and ask them questions on why they believe what they believe. So I think a lot of it is just a bunch of mindless following. You know,
Absolutely.
again, both left
Yes.
and right.
Yes, absolutely.
Republicans are just as guilty as Democrats, you know, and you and I, you know, not to speak for you, but we're pretty conservative, I would say. And I personally have a real issue with a lot of the Republicans that are in office. You know, it's like we're supposed to take one for the team and always vote Republican. And it's like, but what are they actually doing for us? You know what I mean? We're just supposed to lay down our lives and always be loyal to the Republican Party as conservatives. But it's like, what are they really doing for us? And you look at, you know, hot topic like Epstein files and how our Republican representatives all blocked that except for 2 of them. Only 2 Republicans wanted those to come out. The rest of them blocked it.
For obvious reasons. Obviously.
Yeah.
You know, that's all difficult for me too, because I see a lot on both sides. Like you said, I probably do lean towards the conservative side. You know, for years I wasn't on either. But honestly, I mean, from me, I don't believe we have any of the right people in office.
No.
I don't believe that any of them are for the good of our people. On neither side, it's almost like we're given a decision. Do you want worse or worser?
Right. You're having to choose between 2 evils, and picking between 2 evils, it's like you're still picking evil. You're just picking the lesser one. So it's like, what do we do?
Well, I can tell you what we do. We follow God.
Right.
God first.
With action.
Yes.
Not just another. I'm just picking things apart right now. You know, I call it kumbaya Christianity, where people just sit around and, you know, we're just going to hold hands and pray and just hope everything's okay. It's like, that's not what we're called to do. We're not called to be passive. We're not called to be tolerant. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Or we're not called to just sit here and take it and just, you know, pray something falls in our lap. Obviously, prayer is an essential, the most important part of our faith. That's why faith comes into play is prayer. But we're called to take action and take actionable steps and defend our family, defend our country, defend what's right.
Absolutely.
You know, and not just abide to policies and not just be a complete loyalist to one party, because it's not about politics. Again, what we were talking about earlier, it's about morality. You know, what's right and wrong. It's just so much bigger than politics.
And we've lost grasp on what's right or wrong.
Right.
You know, to me, it's very, it's common sense what's right and wrong. And I try to always do the right thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation to touch on. It really is. Because it spins my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I love everyone. I truly do.
Right.
It doesn't matter, you know, what side you're on. It really, truly doesn't. I know I've said that a couple times, but I really encourage that. I really do not.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to be known as this huge, you know, right that only believes that. It's not. It's not the truth. You know, I believe in all. I believe there's things that the Democrats have to say that I honestly, you know, feel like they would be good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's watching 2 people argue is what really I'm just fed up with.
Right.
You know, and that's all it is why do we have to be against each other? If we're truly trying to come together for the whole of our country and bring our country together, then how are the people that are in charge of the country fighting? Right. And then it makes me go back to think of, you know, we've got to be the laughing stock of the world. Right. I mean, when other countries look and watch us.
Well, yeah. I mean, you go to different countries, you know, because I travel a little bit out of the country, and Americans are viewed in a negative light because of what's portrayed through the news, through the media, through social media. But honestly, it's warranted. You know, our country is so divided, and I think it's warranted. You know, if I go to Italy and I'm kind of looked down upon as an American, you know, I get it. I do. It's like we're that that child on the floor throwing a tantrum in Walmart is how we're viewed as. It's valid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what people see. It's not a direct representation of all of us, but it's what they see. So for people to come to that conclusion, I understand it. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like us as Americans put that same type of vibe out with people coming over here? Do you feel
It's a
like they
valid
feel that
question.
way?
That's a valid question that I'm not sure I won't want to get too deep
Yeah.
on with certain topics here. But yeah, I don't think we do. I think there's such a push for other countries and individuals to come here. I don't think we view other people in a negative light from different countries. I think obviously you get to the far right with the immigration policies and things like that. You could see some of that, but honestly, I don't think the majority of people do.
Yeah. Yep.
But again, that's a whole rabbit hole that I probably shouldn't go down.
It's all, we want to talk about
But
everything. We just want to be honest.
no,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
honesty is the best policy. But when you talk about being honest and having a digital footprint, you know, I'd hate for Palantir to, you know, come after me in a few years. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are like, "Oh, what's Palantir?" Just go look it up. Peter Thiel, he owns Palantir. I mean, again, this is a whole rabbit hole that we can go down with the Republicans and JD Vance, who claims Catholic, which I'm not sure how much of that is true for a guy that wears eyeliner and takes $15 million from Peter Thiel to fund his campaign. You know, Peter Thiel openly talks about, he just had a 4-part lecture on the Antichrist, and he owns an AI software company that actually was made by the CIA post 2001. After 9/11, the CIA created this software and this algorithm to kind of scrape the internet to look for stuff. Obviously, it's a violation of our rights, right to privacy. So what do? They make it privatized. They make a privatized company, Palantir, owned by Peter Thiel. So now he funds all that. So it's privatized. So it's not the government doing it. So it's not violating our rights. You get what I'm saying? You
Absolutely.
picking up what I'm putting down?
Absolutely.
So with Palantir, I mean, they're creating all kinds of crazy stuff in this drone tech. I don't know if you've seen any of that stuff, but it's the drones, the tiny little ones that they're basically like little, they just go, hit you right in the head right here. Military funding, military op, scraping the internet. And this is what I'm afraid of, is using the events currently. They're going to try and implement that more. You know, on the left, it's like they're trying to come for the Second Amendment. You know what I mean? They're trying to ban arms. They think that guns are the problem. Well, on the right, it seems like they're trying to ban freedom of speech. I mean, with Trump doing, I'm trying to be careful with how I word some of this stuff. You know, taking down people and for what they're saying online from their jobs, and what we were talking about earlier, Jimmy Kimmel getting pulled off. I think Jimmy Kimmel should have got pulled off years ago. You know, but I actually think what he said on his show was kind of valid. You know, Trump was talking about, they asked Trump what they thought, how he was doing in regards to Charlie Kirk. They were asking him about Charlie Kirk, how he's been holding up. And he goes, well, as you can see over here, you know, we're finally constructing the ballroom. It's taken 120-something years for this to get going. It's like, they're asking you about Kirk, but you
want
don't
to talk
have
about
the
the ballroom?
wherewithal to talk about that. You're going to talk about the construction of the ballroom. You know what I mean? So that's what Jimmy Kimmel was talking about, and they took him off like that. To me, that doesn't make sense, because he's been crapping on Trump for almost a decade now, saying awful things about Trump, but they're using this event to take people down. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
That's
I do.
what I have an issue with. I don't have an issue with, you know, I have an issue with Jimmy Kimmel, but what he said was actually valid. So for them to take him down over something that he said was valid is concerning to me. So going back to Palantir, it's like they're wanting to violate our free speech. And again, trying to word this so where it's not as abrasive, but basically just violating free speech with their AI softwares.
Absolutely. Because we're for the people.
Right.
That's what we're here for.
Right.
And that's why I kind of push that, and not, we have to come, not left, not right. We all have to come together as a
Right.
people.
But that's what I'm saying. They don't want that. They
No,
want
they
this
don't.
divide. They
Absolutely.
want this left and right divide.
If there are no problems, there's nothing to fix.
Right.
So we have to make problems so we can fix them, so we can get in.
Right.
I mean, it's totally
creating the problem and then selling the solution.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
capitalism for you in a nutshell.
It's almost like they're making the solution before they even have the problem.
Yeah.
It's
like, okay, we need this. How are we going to get that? Well, let's create this issue. Let's create this political issue, this divide. Let's only show this on the media. But yeah, it's just a bunch of noise is what it is. And I saw Kevin O'Leary talking about this recently, and he was in reference to Steve Jobs, called signal to noise ratio. So Steve Jobs would work at 80% signal and 20% noise. That means 80% of his time spent awake was focused on one thing, and then he'd allocate 20% to the noise. Right now, it's like everyone's at like 90% noise because we're just stuck on our phones all day, doom scrolling TikTok and Instagram, and the algorithm's feeding us what we want to see. So honestly, I think we've been in a lot worse times as a country and as a world, It's just now we can see it all on our phones. As soon as something happens, like it's on our phone. We get the notification. Everyone sees it at the same time. And I mean, we see things online that we were never supposed to see, like with Kirk and seeing that video, like we were never meant to see that.
I'll never be able to unsee it. I've seen a lot of things in my life. I've seen people be beat to death in front of me.
Right.
And that struck me harder than anything I've ever saw. I'm worried about our youth that watched the video. I mean, the kids, my little girl's 10 years old and they're talking about it in school. That's a problem.
Yeah.
One thing, I don't know if it's just me, getting closer to God and all the work I've been doing on my faith, that I feel this way, but I feel God's coming back very soon. I feel like this has really brought it to light, and it is bringing a lot of people back to God.
Yeah.
This situation.
100%.
It's almost like he was an apostle. He was a modern day apostle, as we all, try to be.
Yeah.
But that man was special.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll sit and say I didn't agree with everything.
Oh, I didn't either.
At all. I agree with a lot.
Right.
Because a lot of it's just common sense to me.
Right.
Men are men.
Right.
Women are women.
Right.
It's common sense to me.
Right.
No, I do not think it's
said,
okay that I do not want a man in the bathroom with my little girl.
Right.
And it's not right.
It's not.
We shouldn't be able to pick who and what we want to be.
Yeah.
I mean, God already chose that for us. And
Right.
it's getting more normalized in our schools. It's the reason why homeschool is becoming so big. My wife is totally against homeschool. And I've tried to get her to homeschool. She's just totally against it. A big part of it is they need that social aspect in their life.
Yeah.
But now with homeschooling, it's gotten so big that there's these homeschool groups where the kids are actually getting to hang out with each other. They're actually having basketball and football teams and things of that nature. How do you feel about armed guards in all of our schools in America?
I think it's a necessity. I think it should have been in place 20 years ago when all this stuff started happening. Like that, I feel like that's essential. These institutions and these schools are targeted for a reason.
Absolutely. And I'm 100% in agreement.
But people think guns are the issue.
Mm-hmm. Well, guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Right.
Unless
you're carrying a SIG P320.
Yeah. I was reading up, on the statistics of gun violence, and I did not understand that part of the statistics of gun violence is suicide by firearm.
Yeah.
That's gun violence. And they say it's 99%. So I think a lot of people, when we hear gun violence and they look at the statistics, they're not taking in accountability of suicide by
They
firearm.
pick and choose what statistics they want to show to fit their narrative and their agenda, which just is what it is. But again, guns aren't the problem. The problem is it's a lot deeper than that. I think all these school shootings are, I don't want to say they're set up, but the society is set up in a way for these things to happen. You know, a lot of these people are just mentally ill and they need serious help.
Absolutely. Mental health is so huge. I mean, so huge. I think we all deal with some mental health. I know I do.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does, and that's why it's important. Again, we were talking about community earlier. If you don't feel like you have a community and people that you can talk to, you feel alone. You wake up, you go to your job. Most of people my age, they wake up, they go to work, they go home. A lot of these people aren't really tight with their families, so they don't have family that they can go to. They don't have very many friends outside of the coworkers they have to listen to complain on a daily basis. A lot of them are single, so it's like, who do you talk to? So a lot of these guys resort to, video games and their friends online, but that's not real connection.
Well, a lot of people are scared to talk for the fear of retaliation. And,
Right.
I feel like a lot of the things going on right now are attention driven. I think some people strive for attention.
Yeah.
And in some instances, it's a lot simpler.
Yeah.
Bullying, a big issue in
Right.
schools. I hear it constantly.
But you're always going to have these issues. It's how do you deal with them, and do you have a support system to help you deal with that? Do you have a family at home? Do you have friends that you can talk to? And again, it's an attack on the family unit. You go to some place like Italy. It's a big family living in one house. You got the grandparents, the parents, the kids. I mean, they all live in one house. It's not you turn 18 and you move out. You stay there as long as you want to stay there because family is a priority there. They're not working all day like they are here. They may work 4 days a week and they get a 2-3 hour lunch. They value time, they value family, they value morality. I mean, Italy's like 80% Catholic, so that's why their society flourishes so well, in my opinion. So, I mean, here it's just you wake up, you go to work, you grind 60 hours a week. You don't spend time with family. Chasing money is important. Keeping up with your neighbors and acquiring all these possessions. That's what's important to people. Not everyone, but a majority of people. And you work until you retire, and then you die.
1,000%.
You're not living. You're just existing and chasing some false sense of security.
So many families. With you saying family, there's so many families being split between politics as well.
Yeah.
I mean, children not ever speaking to their parents again because of their beliefs.
Yeah.
Because the younger generation are stuck on one belief, and it is a large group of them. And it's just not. We just need unity.
Yeah.
We got to love each other.
Yeah.
Everybody just needs to love each other.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, love comes from understanding too. You got to be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes. But a lot of people are not unable to do it. They're just unwilling, I feel like, to see what someone else is going through, to see why they came to what their beliefs are. A lot of these people come to their radical beliefs because of their home life as a child. A lot of it is psychological. Most of it is psychological. And you take these psychological wounds and you feed it with false pretenses and false ideologies to try and justify what happened to you is because of XYZ. That's where we get these radical beliefs that fuel these mentally ill individuals.
and hate.
Yeah.
And I want to make it clear too, because we did not come on here to talk about politics.
Right.
We're just talking and talking about things going on in the world right now.
Yeah,
and one
that's
thing
just
I
our
don't
life.
want for either one of us is for us to be judged
Right.
on beliefs, because you as well, I know how much you love people, and we love
Right.
people. and we don't care about what side they are. We love
Right.
you. So I just want to make that clear, because I don't want to upset anyone for anything said on this show.
Right.
We're just trying to talk through situations at different approaches.
Right. And that's what it takes, is talking about it. These taboo subjects, if you just keep them in the dark, they're just going to fester, and people are going to try and find reason. You know what I mean? So it's
Yes.
best to just talk about things.
When
and
people quit
keep the
talking is
air
when the
open.
violence starts.
Yep.
And that's what's happening right now.
Yep.
People are too scared. And I'm one of them. I just started talking about this stuff. I've always, like I said earlier, I've always just kind of sat back and watched and listened, because I want to learn. Everything
Right.
I know, I learned from someone. So, I try to talk less and listen more.
Right. Right. It can be daunting to talk about. A couple of years ago, probably my mouth would be flying off. My jaw's flying. But now it's like it's a little different when you talk about topics like this. When you're married and when you have kids and when you have a business, it's really unfortunate that you have to worry about your speech, because people can target you, they can target your family, they can target your business based off of what you believe morally. Like,
They can also edit out what they don't want you to see and take comments that we make
yeah,
and make it look like it was just that.
out of context, which is
Majorly.
really, really unfortunate. But again, that's why earlier I was like, I'm trying to figure out how to word this to where it can't be taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
At the end of the day, we love God. We're here for God.
right, that's it.
That's the platform we're on. That's what we're after. And we're after community. We're after taking care of people. We want to help people in every way, in every stature. And anything that feel free, if anyone watching the show, if there's something you want to hear about or you want our opinion on something, because that's literally what it is an opinion, reach out. Private message.
Drop a comment.
Drop a comment, and we'll definitely talk about it. And anyone out there that would like to be on the show and give your side, always open to that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which side you're on. I'm here to listen. I'm going to listen, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to be kind and sensitive to the way you feel.
Yeah. Politics and all bad things aside, we really do live in a fantastic age, in 2025, to where we have supercomputers in our pocket. We can connect with anyone in the world. We can take photos with this thing. We can make calculations. We can, send messages, call people. Technology is flourishing, and we can use technology as a means to spread positivity, spread God's word, to keep people informed, just to connect with people. So I think we really do live in a fantastic age. I think it's a lot safer than we think it is. I think most people agree on the same things. People want peace, they want love, they want happiness. And if we can just focus on that, I think we'll be all right.
Me
You know
too.
what I mean? If we just focus on living in harmony together, ideologies aside, we live in a great age to where we can do anything we want. Whatever you want to do, you can do. You can make a business model out of anything, whatever your interests are. You can make money and provide for your family doing that.
Oh yeah,
So-
you've got some very young individuals now making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
You know,
Just trading or
Yeah.
making
TikTok.
yeah.
I mean, just all kinds of things, and that is where I do feel like I struggle with it too. I struggle with social media. I'm on my phone way too much, which I'm trying to work on that. Charlie Kirk said, hey, he puts his phone down from Friday night at 6 o'clock till Saturday at 6 o'clock for 24 hours.
Yeah.
I've been, I'm thinking about, I want to, the sad thing is that we're all human, and I'm here to say it would be very difficult for me not to look at my phone for one day.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah.
Especially knowing growing up, we didn't have them.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I got my first pager at 13 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I was thinking about this the other day, but I can still think of all the numbers that you can put together to make your sentence. in your pager. That way they didn't have to call you back. It was like a text. Before text were ever there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I can literally see my see-through blue pager right now.
See, I don't even know what that is. No
You
idea.
don't know what it is?
No, I know what a pager is. My dad used to have one when he was on call at the hospital.
Yeah.
But
So we all carried them.
I've
like
never seen a
13,
pager.
14 years old. We all carried pagers, you know? SOS, help. I mean, it's crazy. You paid somebody and then you would call them. Yeah.
Yeah, I had an iPod
I guess I
Touch
am
in
double
elementary
the
school.
age of you, which just blows my mind.
Yeah, 22. So 2003 is when I was born.
I was literally in the penitentiary when you were born. That's not really funny, but I guess it is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah. Is there anything else you want to touch on? Anything you want to
You
talk
know,
about, man?
I'd really just like to touch on and let everyone know how much Jesus loves you. It's never too late to give yourself to Christ. I want everybody to know that I am not perfect, that I struggle daily, but I'm working on myself so much and so hard. I still feel like I'm failing daily. I'm still not giving enough. I don't give the word enough time. You know, if we can sit and listen to music, you know, for hours in our vehicle as we go to sales meeting to sales meeting, but we can't listen to the word. I feel like it's a big issue. I've been concentrating now in the mornings. You know, the first thing I do is get into the book, read my daily devotional, and, you know, and then now when I get in my vehicle, I'm listening to my Bible, you know, all the way to work every morning. And I'm trying to, instead of turning on music, whenever I get back in my vehicle, I'm trying to just get right back into it, which is cool with the Bible verse. I mean, with the Bible app, because literally if you turn your vehicle off, it stops. And when you turn your vehicle back on, it automatically comes back on. So you don't have to go back and forth.
Yeah.
So just really trying to learn the word. I want to be able to speak it like I hear so many others speak it.
Yeah.
I want to have verses of meaning that help describe, you know, the feelings I'm having. Because there's definitely a verse for everything.
Oh yeah, 100%. There is. Shout out Hallowed app. That's what I would use. It's pretty sick app. It's subscription based, but it's really neat. They have a daily. There's just so much stuff on there. Like Jonathan Rumi, who plays Jesus in The Chosen, he does stuff on there. Mark Wahlberg, he does stuff.
Shout out Mark Wahlberg.
Bishop Barron.
Wahlberg Burgers.
all kinds of guys do stuff on there, and that's pretty cool. I think Jordan Peterson's wife is on there as well. She talks about stuff. But yeah, I'm terrible about doing that. I'm honestly really bad. Should probably turn on the Hallowed app instead of listening to death metal every time I get in the car. But you know, we're working on it. Work in progress.
Hey, sometimes we need something to get us in that mode, you know, to get us, which I was about to say excited. The word should make us excited.
Yeah, but it also puts me to sleep too, which is really unfortunate. Again, ADD brain. So
that's me.
Like when I'm up in the morning, like the last thing I'm thinking about is anything of meaning. I'm literally just trying to wake up, you know, because I usually sleep in really late. So, but to put more emphasis on it before I go to bed, because that's when I'm the most awake, is in the evening times, and that's when I'm doing the most amount of work. But instead of, you know, editing for hours on end, I should probably be, you know, putting a little more time into the word. So work in progress for sure. But yeah.
I'm huge on routine. Like I like to be doing the same things every day.
Yeah.
That's really what got me through, you know, the time that I was down was just routine, doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So every night I'm, you know, sleep by 10, I'm up at 6:30. Thankful to my wife for the cup of coffee that she brings to me every morning.
Yeah.
To get me awake.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm out the door. Stainless Innovations is obviously my safe place. So once I get here, you know, I'm grinding, I'm working, I love it. There's first of all, I love God, but behind that, I love my family, and behind that, I love to work.
Yeah.
I would work 24 hours a day if I knew I could make a dollar.
Oh, same.
I just love grinding. I love coming up with ideals. I love the industry I'm in. It's all I know. I just love it. I
Yeah.
love Stainless Innovations, and I
Yeah.
love all the people here.
Yeah.
This is my family. Every single person out there, from the person sweeping the floor to the guys running the shop to the guys running the business, no one's more important here. Everyone is the most important, and it's when you walk through our shop here, obviously you can feel it. Everyone that comes here to visit is just like, wow, because everyone out here, we all love each other. We do not have problems inside my shop, which is just awesome, and we try to do as much as we can for our employees here.
Right. It's really a phenomenal workplace, and kudos to you again.
Thank you.
You have a great set of employees. It seems like a family unit here.
Absolutely.
You treat your employees with utmost respect. I'm not glazing this guy. I mean it. Like the way he treats his employees, the way he takes care of them and brings them food. Was it once a month you're bringing in food?
Yeah, once a month.
Having the employee of the month, just a safe work environment. And also, I mean, he pays them extremely well from what I've seen. There's no one around here paying what you pay your employees here.
Well, that's just you've got to create a place, which becomes very hard, especially with with everything that we've got going on now with, all the surcharges and everything going on where prices are just going up significantly. It's difficult for me because when we bid a job, usually they're just starting concrete and we're the last ones in the door. So, I bid a job, it's usually a year to a year and a half away before we actually do the job.
Right.
And when I give a price, I'm held to that price. So,
and the economy fluctuates so
much.
In 2 years, that sucks, dude.
Yes, absolutely. We had a rough January through May, major losses, like, the rest of the world. And I just say these things because, I want everybody to understand that it's not all great.
Right.
It can be bad. If we weren't a paid for company, then January through May, there's a big possibility it could have put us out.
Right.
You know what I mean? But because of the way we're set up and the way I run business, I believe in being debt free. I believe it's the only way to be.
100%.
And it is what enables us to take such good care of our employees. But you have to build a team of people, and you have to do the things for them that they can't walk across the street and get another job and be able to do.
Right.
So that's what keeps, we have no turnover here, hardly at all. We've got people that's been here, as long as I am old.
Right.
Which makes me very proud. We have 4 here that's been here over 40 years,
which is
and I'm 42.
Incredible.
Absolutely.
Unheard of.
And their fathers,
Yeah.
Their one of David and Harold, their dad, retired from here, which is awesome, and that's what I want to create. Success to me is watching my employees build brand new homes, get brand new vehicles.
Yeah.
Me and Bo were talking a couple of days ago. We've got a young man, shout out Hayden, who's doing just an absolute awesome job. Very young man that came straight out of high school and came straight to work here as a welder. That's just killing the game. You know what I mean? He just got him a new Ford King Ranch and looking nice out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And he's 18, 19 years old. And you look at that, that's success.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of you guys out there, that feel like, that you have to go to college. It's not for everybody. We need skilled trades.
College is a scam.
I need mill workers right now in my mill workshop.
Yeah.
And anyone around the country, if you see this and you say, wow, I would love to work at Stainless Innovations. We have many people that have relocated here from all over. we're looking for mill workers right now. We're looking for TIG welders, finishers. Those the trades that are going away.
Right, which is really unfortunate because those things will always be needed. Those are jobs that AI cannot take. And I think a lot
You mean
of the,
AI can't weld my counters together?
it's just these labor intensive jobs and these creative jobs, you can't replace humanity with AI. You have to have these positions.
Absolutely.
And a lot, again, I said college is a scam. It's true. Unless you're going to law school or medical school, what's the point? You know what I mean? You're going to go get a business degree. You're going to go for graphic design. You're going to go for videography. You're going to go to LA Film School, Full Sail. You can learn most of the stuff on YouTube and then learn business practices, principles, and what goes into business by working with the business owner.
Absolutely.
Or doing some kind of internship or apprenticeship.
Absolutely.
That's where you learn, is actually in the field and talking to people that do the thing.
Absolutely.
Instead of listening to some professor trying to teach you out of a textbook. If they were really doing the thing, if they were really, a filmmaker, they'd be out working on set. They'd be working on documentaries. They'd have their own media business. But instead, they're driving a 2001 Camry and, teaching at Harvard or whatever.
Absolutely.
It's like, you don't need to be spending six figures going into debt at 17, 18 years old, paying that off for the rest of your life with insane interest to go for a job you may not even want in 5 years. So again, college is a scam. You need to figure out what you want to do first. And then if you want to go to college, go to college, do what you want to do. I'm not saying don't go to college. I'm saying 90% of those degrees are a scam.
Yeah, I just started headed there. That's where I was headed when you first made that first statement is that, if you do decide, because we need doctors and lawyers too.
Right.
But what you just said, you should decide of what you want. You know how many people are in their second, third year of college and you ask them what they want to do and they say, I don't know?
Right. It's like,
like, well, what are you going there for?
Most of them, it's the college experience, whatever the hell that means.
Frat parties?
Yeah. It's like...
Well, I'm here to say as a testimony, I dropped out of high school. It did take me a long road to get to where I am today, but now I'm blessed with several companies doing over $30 to $40 million a year in revenue.
Yeah.
That I'm so extremely thankful for.
Prison taught you more than college.
It did. Reading books and just learning life.
Right.
Really just knowing how to treat people. I mean, people feed through that. When I go and I see my customers and I speak to them, people want to do good business with good people, man.
Right.
And that's just what I tend to do. I try to be, even customers' mistakes, we try to help. We take responsibility for a lot of their mistakes just because we make mistakes too. And we're a team.
It happens.
I say customers, I have partners, who I'm so thankful for, because without our partners and without the partners that give us so much work, we wouldn't be able to feed myself or anyone out here.
Yeah.
At all. And I want people to know that anyone that buys from Stainless Innovations or any of my companies, your money's being put right back into the community. I truly give. We're not necessarily supposed to talk about, what we give, but obviously everyone sees it.
Yeah.
And it's very important to me, and I talk about it because I feel like more should do it.
Right. You give more than anyone I've seen. Like, seriously, you give and give and give and give and give. And I tell this guy in private that he needs to give a little less because you get taken advantage of.
A lot.
But one of the kindest souls I've ever met in terms of how much that he gives to other people, and not just money. It's so much bigger than money. He gives people opportunity. He gives them chance after chance after chance after chance. It's really incredible that you get burned so many times, but you still go out and you're kind to people and you give them chances and you give them these opportunities that they don't necessarily even deserve.
No.
So.
And I do that because I didn't deserve the opportunities that were given to me.
Yeah.
God never gave up on me. I'm so thankful. I got so close to Christ, during my time down. And then as soon as I got out, I was doing the things I needed to do and go to church and things, but I really wasn't. I'm a little down on myself that I don't know the word better, because it all comes down to the word.
We can all improve. That's something we'll be chasing for the rest of our lives, is not, improvement, but,
I just
just
don't
keep
want to get
growing
to the
in.
gates and him look at me and say, but I didn't know you. Oh, but
Right.
I did all this. I did all this. Like, I give you this and I do this, but I never knew you. And that's the thing people have to understand, is just because you're given does not give you a free ticket
Right.
whatsoever.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there that give a lot of money that aren't good individuals. They're
Right.
not getting in.
Right.
They will hear, but I didn't know you.
What matters at the end of the day is, it's not necessarily about what you say or even what you do. Quite frankly, it's really about your intention and your effort. And God can see that on your heart. He can see our striving to do better, wanting to help others, striving to be kind to others, and to help other people. Because I'm not sure. Again, I'm in the same boat as you with the scripture and the verses and stuff. But there's a parable where in the Bible where it's talking about the woman who she has nothing at all, and someone comes to her house, and she literally just makes the bread and with all the oil and the flour and stuff, and she makes all that she has. She can't eat anymore. She puts all of it and gives it away to this person who's hungry. Translate that to the modern day age, you can really only give what you can. If you're a billionaire and you're giving away millions and millions of dollars, you have a lot to give. So to give away millions of dollars really means nothing. But if you have nothing and you're helping people with the only resources you have, God sees that. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter about what you're giving. It's a whole formula of intention and where you're at.
I honestly believe, and I agree with all of that completely. I honestly agree that God knows my heart. He has made me so financially successful because He knows what I'm doing with the money. Yes, I get burnt constantly, and I let the same people burn me over and over and over again. But at the same time, every time I give, I feel that calling from God. So I feel like it's not, they're not burning me, they're burning Him. And it's not my money anyway. All this, everything I have is just, it's temporary.
Yeah.
It's temporary. One thing I want to touch on too, and I never really realized this, but the more I'm getting into the Word, I'm realizing, once we get to heaven, when my wife comes up, I can't wait to see my wife. Well, when I get up there, we're all brothers and sisters. We're not, I'm not going to know her as my wife.
It says what's bound on earth will be bound in heaven. So, marriage is, you're not going to have, like sexual intimacy in heaven, because that's really as just a means to procreate here on earth, but you're still going to be married in heaven.
So how do you feel about people that have multiple wives but are Christians?
See, this is when I get going. So everyone watching now, very, very traditional Catholic is on the mic right now. So marriage is forever, and divorce is not an option. Divorce is what's bound on earth is bound in heaven. So in order for a divorce to be valid, Catholic here, what has to happen is you have to get it annulled. So you go, and there's a certain set of steps that you take for them. Basically, it's kind of like legality in like a court setting, but in the church. So you take the case to them, they review it. It can take up to 12, 18 months. They review the case, and first you have to obviously get legally divorced. Then you take that and you go to the church, and then they decide if it's a null marriage or not, which means you were never really married in the eyes of God in the first place. So like, for example, let's say you get married and this person has no intentions of having kids, and they never told you that. And then you get married and they're like, I don't want kids. And you're like, but I want kids. And that's a cause for divorce. So you take that to the church, to the diocese, and they review it. And then they determined, well, since they came into this communion not wanting to have children, you were never married in the first place. You guys were not on the same page. Mental illness is another one. If you got married and they deemed the other person to be mentally ill and not fit, that they were not fit to make that commitment, well, you're never married in the eyes of God in the first place. So if it gets annulled through the church, you were never married. So then you can remarry. But if you just, get married, you're on the same page, you decide, I don't want to do this anymore, you get divorced, that's not how that works. You made a lifelong commitment. It's bigger than just your tax bracket or, just getting married so you live together and have kids, and then when you get sick and tired of each other, you get divorced. Divorce is not the answer.
It's not.
You need to figure
It's
that
definitely
figure that
not.
out.
I've been married to one woman.
Yeah.
We've got our 18th anniversary coming up on November 17th. Spoke on it before. I wouldn't be here today without her. I would not be in the positions I have. She is my rock. She is one of the reasons why I have become so successful. I strive to be the best father and husband, provider. Everything I do is for my Lord and my family. It's the reason why I work so hard.
Yeah.
I'm super scared of failure. I'm so scared of failure that it just drives me.
Right.
Because everything can be taken away in a moment. January through May scared me dramatically. It really did.
Yeah.
And it made me take a lot of things in, and it's really put me in the work mode that I'm in right now. I mean, you see how we're blowing up right now. I mean, we just, the last couple months, we've received more POs than, in a year's time total. And I enjoy selling. I enjoy, picking up new customers and meeting new people. And every job I pick up, I look at it as if I just fed my 60 guys out here, and everybody, every family, every person out here working right now has minimal 2 to 3 other people at home. So that, so really I look at it as Stainless Innovations is taking care of hundreds of people.
Right. You are.
And it's ultimately up to me.
Right.
Of how everyone else, I've been speaking with my leadership about, if I'm not great, they can't be great either.
Yeah.
They can only be as good as their leader, which has really opened up my eyes and caused me to work a lot harder. When I first got everything paid for, I was extremely tired. I was beat down, and I got lazy.
Yeah.
Started taking a lot of time. Last summer, spent almost the whole summer at the lake. This year I've been, 5 times.
Yeah.
And we just always have to be, we just have to take responsibility for the actions that we take and the things that we do that cause ill harm on our lives down the road.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
with drugs, that's with alcoholism, that's with work, that's with family. So my ultimate goal is just to spread the word of what Jesus Christ has done for me.
Yeah.
And spread love.
Yeah.
No matter what you come from, no matter what you believe in, I'm gonna love you.
Yeah.
And I'm here for you.
100%. 100%. Like the way you're saying initially, about your wife, same thing here, dude. My wife is my rock. She, she's taking care of our almost 3-week-old twins right now at the house while I'm out here working. She's holding it down at home, and she does so much more than that. She, I throw all my ideas at her. She gives me feedback. I bring everything to her. She, it's, cliche. It really annoys me when people are like, my wife's my best friend, but like, my wife's my best friend. Like, she really is. We do everything together. That's who I spend the most amount of time with. I love spending time with her. And there's not very many people I can say that about, being antisocial and introverted.
No doubt. No doubt. You're
situations
you're extremely
drain me.
blessed, bro.
Yeah.
Extremely blessed.
She, I never get tired of her. I always hear, people complaining about, like, in guy groups, it's like, oh, my girl did this, or my wife said this, or blah, blah, blah. It's like, I got nothing to complain about. Truly. Like, she's always there for me. She doesn't, really cause any problems at all. Like we don't even really have disagreements much.
Yeah.
It's really just we know where our heart's at the end of the day. You know, if there is like a small disagreement, it's usually because I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
It's usually what
Absolutely.
it is. It's usually, I think most relationship problems are just communication issues.
They are.
And communication starts with listening, not with talking.
Absolutely.
And again, sometimes I just let my mouth fly. I'm just talking and then I'm not listening. But I've been extremely, extremely blessed with my wife, and she means the world to me. And yeah, I love her so much.
Beautiful stuff, man. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, I'm super thankful. Just thankful for everything. Thankful for where I'm at. We've had rough times. The last couple of years have been the best years throughout my entire marriage.
Yeah.
Just when things were bad, it was because I was bad.
Yeah.
It's never been her. It's always been me. Years ago I'd let ego, just destroy me.
Yeah.
And just I always felt like I was right, or I'm working and you're staying at home.
Right.
And that's something else we need to touch on, or the stay-at-home moms, and how difficult it is.
Oh my gosh.
I can assure you, I could not do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's impossible. Stay-at-home
I could
moms
not do it.
are I hate this Gen Z term, but they're the GOAT. Like seriously, like stay-at-home moms make the world go around.
1,000%.
They do. It is
1,000%.
more. It's more than a full-time job. You're keeping kids. You're not just keeping kids alive. Their entire life, the trajectory of their life is based on their childhood and how they're brought up and what they're taught and what beliefs are instilled in them and the love that they receive at home. So, it's the most important job in the world, because you're raising the next generation. You're instilling these values. You're loving these children, and on top of keeping them alive and doing laundry and doing dishes and cleaning the house and make sure it looks good when your husband gets home and making dinner. And it's like, that's 7 days a week.
Oh, it's extremely difficult. And mine waits on both of us, because Stella and I are extremely needy.
Yeah.
She waits on us hand and foot, you
Yeah.
know. I get asked every 15, 20 minutes, are you hungry?
Yeah.
I used to get annoyed by it. Now she's just really trying to make sure she's taking care of me.
Yeah.
And she wants me to eat, because she knows that if I'm not eating, then I'm not healthy.
Yeah.
And I go through those times when I get really stressed out and depressed. I don't eat. I have no appetite, and she stays on me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was Mother Teresa that said, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family.
That's beautiful.
And that's what stay-at-home moms do. That's how you what we were talking about at the beginning of this podcast. If you want to change the world, go home and love your family. And that's what stay-at-home moms do, and that's why it's the most important job on the planet.
1,000%. And all men out there, if you're able to be able to work, even if you have to work harder and pick up, other duties in order to make it, if you can, please let your wife stay home.
Absolutely.
It's going to change. If you look back in the day, all wives stayed at home. It was the men in the workforce. A lot of women are very strong-willed and they want to be in the workforce. I know
and
a
that's
lot.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Yeah.
It is
especially in creative endeavors. If you want to be creative or start your business, whatever, as a woman, that's phenomenal. And props to you.
And women are needed in the workforce.
Yeah.
Some of my key people here are women, and
especially in communications.
Yes. Well, they communicate better.
Yeah, because men are we're pretty cut and dry.
Yes.
Which is needed in business, but customer relations and things like that, it's nice to have a woman in that position.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah. Anything else?
My mind's just kind of spinning on what we've talked to. I want to kind of go back to politics, because, like I said, I want to be very careful that we're not pointed out for any, negative things, because it's just people are so being, just really hard on people right now when they say the wrong thing. So I just want to, we're just talking on this show, and it's what, I just don't want people to think negative over anything political. Ultimately, we're here for God and for our families and for our community,
Yeah.
and that's what we're based on. You know,
100%.
but if we don't talk about things, then that's when the violence starts.
Right.
So
100%.
we're gonna talk about them
Yeah.
on this show for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, it's just words, and if you're offended by that, I can't do anything about that. So,
Pray for you.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you want to have a discussion, we can have a discussion. But yeah, at the end of the day, we believe what we believe. We're not sorry about what we believe, and if you have an issue with that, talk about it.
Absolutely.
You know, talk
Absolutely.
about it instead of attacking people. Just talk about it.
I mean, I'm not a master debater,
Yeah,
but
you're not a master what?
master. But yeah, sometimes conflict. I've always had issues with. I'm not real good with confrontation. You know, I get really heated and really.
It
You know,
doesn't
I don't
bother
like
me.
confrontation, but I'm getting so much better at it because a lot of it's the way we take it in.
You just let them talk. Most people will talk themselves into a hole. Confrontation really doesn't do anything to me. Unfortunately, I think it's because I just don't care. But it's just words. At the end of the day,
It
they're
is.
just words. If you're not harming me, I don't care. You know, you're gonna believe what you believe. I'm gonna believe what I believe. We can talk about it, have a logical discussion, you know, based on factual information and morality and beliefs. But if you're just gonna attack people for the sake of attacking people because they have a difference in beliefs, your mind's already made up, and I can't change your mind. So, you coming at me for something I believe, I don't. Quite frankly, just don't care, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I wish I could be that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm working on it
Yeah.
towards that. Well, Brayden, man, I really appreciate everything you do
course,
for
man.
me. Everything
Likewise.
you do for here. I mean, you've got a lot to do with my growth in the last couple years. I'm just so you're so young and so ahead of your time. It's just awesome to watch you grow. It's awesome to watch you have kids, and now I
Yeah.
get to watch your kids grow. It's really special to me.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, and everybody. Thank you so much for the ones that's watched. Jesus loves you. I love you, and hope to see you all soon.
Yep. I'll see y'all later.
Take it
Peace.
easy, guys.